Windblown just launched into early access, and if you're watching this video, you're probably keen to get good as fast as possible so you can make it to the endgame and see everything the new roguelike has to offer. Getting through the first level, Golem Gardens, with good gear and as much health as possible is imperative if you want to reach the later levels, and this guide will give you all the information you need. First and foremost, it's important to learn where all the secrets are. Windblown's first level has plenty of secrets hidden in unsuspecting places, but you have to know where to look. First of all, make sure you check every waterfall by trying to dash through it, because sometimes they have hidden caves with chests and other secrets behind them. You should also keep an eye out for suspicious looking cliff edges that seem like they might lead somewhere, with narrow paths or multiple small platforms. Sometimes you could even blink through the corner of a cliff and discover a hidden area behind the cliff wall. The gameplay I'm showing you here includes a few of these secret locations, but it's by no means the full list. So, make sure you're constantly checking for these secrets and keep an eye out for the warning signs, namely a waterfall with an open area in front of it, or a cliff edge with platforms or a narrow path. The second key to success in Golem Gardens is memorizing the enemy's attacks. This might seem obvious, but you really need to carefully watch and learn the enemy attack patterns if you want to get good enough to make it through Golem Gardens unscathed. All the enemies here have very obvious telegraphs and clear wind-up animations for their attacks, so get used to keeping your eyes on your enemies more than your own character's position. The basic enemies in the first level can be a bit annoying at first, but they're easy enough to avoid once you know their moves. Firstly, the dashing robots have a small wind-up animation, then they charge in a straight line towards you. They're easy to avoid as long as you're paying attention. Just dodge to the side and their attack won't hit you. The turret robots and grenade robots are a little bit more irritating, but they're squishy and easy to kill. The turrets shoot at you from a distance, and the grenade robots lob explosive orbs that blow up after a short period. They can both dodge backwards when you get close to them, so hit them quickly and they'll die in a couple of hits at most. Make sure to take out these ranged golems first when you encounter them in a pack, because it's easy to get caught out by a stray projectile when you're focusing on melee enemies. There are a few bigger enemies in Golem Gardens that you need to be aware of too. Ball golems look intimidating at first, but they're actually very predictable and easy to kill. They have a big laser beam attack that's clearly telegraphed by a long, narrow laser. Make sure you're nowhere near the laser when the attack triggers. While the ball golem is charging and firing its laser, use the time to get to the side or behind it and deal chip damage. The ball golem can also summon explosive orbs, so keep an eye on your character's position and make sure you don't get caught in the blast. Depending on your weapon, it might be easier to just keep moving and attack between dashes, but the ball golems don't have too much health, so you shouldn't have any trouble once you learn their attacks. There are also two types of golem warriors in the first level, wielding giant weapons. There's one wielding a sword and a hammer, and another wielding just a sword. They have multiple hit melee combos and can jump to your location if you're far away, and their melee attacks hit in a wide arc, so make sure you're far away from them or behind them while they're using their melee combo, and only attack when you're safe. It's really easy to kill the golem warriors by kiting them, as long as you watch for the red circle when they jump towards you. These enemies are harder when you encounter them in groups, so follow the same strategy that you would for lesser enemies. Kill the ranged ones first. For elites, this means the ball golems, as it'll be easier to kill melee golems when you don't have to worry about dodging lasers and bombs. Sometimes you'll encounter an elite enemy alongside a duplicate of itself. Only the gold version has a health bar and can take damage, so focus on that one while dodging the attacks from both. Just keep moving and use fast weapons, ranged weapons, or a weapon that gives you invulnerability, like the Raven Blade, to hit them between their combos. Activate both your trinkets as soon as you get into the fight and burst the elite down as fast as possible. The quicker you kill it, the less time it has to kill you. It's also important to focus on building a good character from the very beginning, and that means picking the right weapons, trinkets, and passives during the first level. My favourite perk in the game is Necromancy. This heals you for 4% of your maximum health every time you kill an enemy. This perk vastly improves your ability to sustain yourself throughout the level and gives you room to make a few minor mistakes but still recover. So don't miss out on this perk if it comes up. Otherwise, choose whichever perks suit the weapons you're using. My favourite weapon is the Raven Blade. In my opinion, this is the best weapon you can pick in the early game thanks to its guaranteed AoE crits and the temporary invulnerability you get while you're flipping through the air. The Raven Blade is even more powerful with perks that boost your crit damage and first hit damage, along with anything that makes you better at delivering big, heavy blows. Other safe alternatives include ranged weapons like the Throwing Stars, Beat Bolt Crossbow, and Sirocco Staff, but the main thing is that you keep packing on the damage through perks that synergize with your weapon choice and upgrade to a higher level weapon whenever you find a suitable one that matches your build. Lastly, it's crucial to practice the miniboss at the end of the level. The miniboss seems intimidating at first, but like the elite enemies in Golem Gardens, it only has a few attacks and follows a very predictable pattern. Most importantly, be prepared to dodge as soon as you enter the arena. The boss has a 3-hit melee combo that it might use immediately. This deals huge damage in a massive arc that covers a big chunk of the arena, and it's easy to get caught out if you're not expecting it. This is the only melee attack the boss can use though, so get used to its timing and dodge at the last moment, because you might not be able to get clear of the hitbox through distance alone. On top of this, the boss periodically throws out bombs that land at your current position whenever you're close, so keep an eye on your character and move out of the way before they explode. Above all, the most threatening ability you need to watch out for is when the boss starts spewing out proximity mines that cover the entire arena. This happens at around 60% health, then again at around 20% health. The proximity mines make it tricky to avoid the boss's attacks without taking damage, so the best way to survive is to dash through them all to clear them. As long as you're quick, they won't hit you, then you'll have enough space to maneuver again. Just make sure to continue avoiding the boss's melee strikes in the process. And that's it for the mini-boss at the end of Golem Gardens. Just keep dealing chip damage between its melee strikes, clear the mines, and you'll overcome the first level of Windblown in no time. If you found this guide helpful, you can help us out by liking and subscribing to Pure Game Guides. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time.